First at 4, is this a sign of things to come? More UAW picket signs in a new location. This is happening right now. We are monitoring strike negotiations. Also, her family shared this video looking for answers, and now there's an arrest in the death of this college student. Prosecutors tell us what they think happened just before she died. And Kim is working on your forecast.
Well, if it feels warmer than it was yesterday, that's because it is by quite a bit. We're in the low to mid 70s, even upper 70s, and we could hit 80 this week. I'll tell you which day coming up.
An entrepreneur's dream is percolating back here in the Cass Corridor.
When I moved out here, it was always kind of like a dream of mine to have like a roastery.
It's a grand opening that's brewing up new possibilities in the community.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, 2 Macomb County deputies are facing charges in connection to the alleged assault of a juvenile in custody. Now, we know there's body cam video of what happened, and what was on that video contributed to charges being filed, but we have not seen that video yet. Ultimately, Deputy Derek Reed, a 10-year veteran of the department, was charged with 2 misdemeanors, including child abuse in the 4th degree. Deputy Alan Weir, a 16-year veteran of the force, was charged with willful neglect of duty. Both deputies are on paid administrative leave this afternoon. We'll have more information in a live report at 5. Now, we're not seeing a lot of progress, and a new UAW deadline is getting closer and closer. Today marks the 6th day of the strike against Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. At this hour, the UAW is launching a practice picket outside the Chrysler Tech Center over in Auburn Hills. It's the first new practice picket we're seeing since about 13,000 workers walked off the job in a targeted strike against the automakers last Friday. The union is threatening to expand that strike if, quote, substantial progress is not made. UAW President Shawn Fain has scheduled his next official update for 10 a.m. on Friday morning. That's 2 hours before the noon deadline when more workers could join the picket lines. Local 4 has learned Stellantis has submitted a new offer today, but no one has shared the details yet. Ford says it is making contingency plans in case the UAW expands its strike to more plants. Meantime, Ford did just reach a last-minute deal with the uniform union over in Canada to avoid a strike there. We'll have hourly updates through our evening newscast if there are new developments. And we do have breaking news connected to the strike within the past 10 minutes. We did confirm workers are being temporarily laid off at 3 more Midwest plants because of that trickle-down effect of the UAW strike. The Stellantis plants in Toledo, Ohio, Kokomo, Indiana say supply issues are the problem. We also know that GM plant in Kansas that makes the Malibu is also going idle tonight. That plant employs over 2,000 people. Southfield police seem to have solved the mystery surrounding the death of a college student found lying in the middle of a road. 23-year-old Kenesha Fern of Wayne made a virtual court appearance today to face charges of leaving the scene of an accident and driving while drunk. Prosecutors say she was driving a car on June 3rd with Mia Canoe as a passenger. They believe Kanu jumped out of that moving car and then died from her injuries, but say Fern didn't stop to report the accident. She was found on Providence Drive in Southfield. The defendant will be free on personal bond with some restrictions. We'll be back in court later this month. A coalition of law enforcement officers is reporting positive progress in Detroit's battle against violent crime. You may recall we talked about the One Detroit partnership between the city and the county and the FBI, the United States Attorney, and others. Kimberly Gill joins us to talk about the results from the so-called summer strategy. Kim?
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. The One Detroit Coalition threw a bunch of numbers at us on crime in the city during a news conference a short time ago. They say there is encouraging news in those numbers with decreases in violent crime and homicide. So here are some of the reminders on what the coalition has been doing. All branches of law enforcement have been working together to target crime throughout the city, but especially in the 8th and 9th precincts considered to be the most violent. The summer strategy included included deterrence, such as sending letters directly to people on probation, warning them against committing further violence. Members of the coalition also went door to door to encourage community members to make better choices, and prosecutors used federal charges whenever possible to boost the penalties for violent crime. Some of the positive results include less violent crime in the 8th and 9th precincts, and all over the city, there have been 25 fewer homicides in the city of Detroit.
Every body counts. Every family that didn't have to suffer through the grief and stress of having lost someone through violence counts. And we want to make sure that we celebrate saving some lives.
The criminal element in this town knows exactly what the strategy is and what's coming, and we're starting to see changes in behavior.
Now, you heard a little bit from Mayor Mike Duggan there. The mayor thinks Detroit might be an inflection point in the fight against violent crime, but admits the bigger test will be next year in 2024. We have another crew going through the numbers, talking to the members of the coalition. We'll dig into more of this report when you join us for Local 4 News at 5 o'clock. Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Criminal charges will not be revived against 7 key figures in the Flint water crisis after a new ruling from Michigan Supreme Court. The Flint water prosecution team used an uncommon tool, a one-judge grand jury, to return indictments. The High Court had previously ruled that process was unconstitutional and then struck down the charges. But prosecutors tried to argue the charges could be easily revived by refiling documents. That argument was rejected all the way to the state Supreme Court. So that means charges will not be revived against these 7 people on your screen right now, including former state health director Nick Lyon and state Medicaid executive Eden Wells. The Flint prosecution team says the ruling does not prove the defendants are innocent, and it is reviewing the status and considering its next steps. In your first forecast, it's like Mother Nature has been slowly turning up the heat this week. Let's get over to Kim Adams to see where things stand this afternoon.
Yeah, she's going to start cranking it up here as we're already in the mid, even upper 70s out there in some spots. 76 in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Lapeer. 75 in Monroe. Downtown Detroit right now is at 78 degrees. Yesterday we were only in the 60s, so that's quite a jump. And we've got a lot of sunshine out there right now. The visible satellite picking up just a couple of clouds, but otherwise a lot of blue skies and a really nice evening here in Metro Detroit. Now, tomorrow we could, I think we will, hit 80 degrees. We do have a few more clouds, so that would be the only, kind of chance that we may not hit 80 is if it just gets so cloudy and we don't get enough sun. But I went ahead and put 80 for tomorrow as an optimist. And then after that, we do see a cool down for next week. In fact, quite a bit cooler, and also a chance for rain next week that we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Kim. New at 4, the Federal Reserve has left its key interest rate unchanged for the second time in its past 3 meetings. So this is another sign that the Fed is moderating the fight against inflation. But officials are indicating they might raise rates once more this year. The Fed has been raising rates, hoping to bring that inflation down without starting a recession. Seems to be working, but it looks like interest rates will stay higher well into 2024. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland is defending his department this afternoon against any claims of political favoritism. Republicans and Democrats used his appearance before the GOP-led House Judiciary Committee to argue about who is being unfairly targeted. Some Republicans claiming former President Donald Trump is being persecuted. Democrats wonder if Hunter Biden is being investigated distracts from Trump's growing legal troubles. Garland rejects all that speculation.
There is not one set of laws for the powerful and another for the powerless, one for the rich and another for the poor, one for Democrats and another for Republicans, or different rules depending upon one's race or ethnicity or religion. Our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor.
Now, when pressed about the Hunter Biden investigation, Garland continues to say he did not investigate, interfere with, or make determinations about that case. Here at home, one man's dream started in his basement. Now it is brewing up a new business opening in Detroit's Cass Corridor. The owner of that new coffee shop hopes the place will become a community hub. Ardaban Fernandez was there for today's grand opening.
Inside this space, it's not just a coffee roasting plant, but one new local businessman says he's brewing up some potential for possibilities. At Craig's Coffee, All sorts of aromatic roasts are catching the community's attention in Detroit's Cass Corridor.
I have coffee from Brazil, Costa Rica, Colombia, Guatemala. I just have this Dominican Republic coffee that came in that I've been fortunate enough to get.
And this new shop on Peterborough Street is one coffee lover's dream. It's where Craig Vittori is roasting a variety of imported and domestic coffee beans and packaging the blends for sale.
When I moved out here, it was always kind of like a dream of mine to have like a roastery or have a space where I could like offer, opportunities to other folks.
The California native says he has big dreams in the city of Detroit, where he spent the past decade. Vittori admits the path to opening this business wasn't easy.
And then, if you can believe it, kind of COVID pushed me into it.
This coffee enthusiast says he lost work during the pandemic, but had a roaster in his basement and sold coffee to friends and others as a hobby.
And that really just sort of kick-started things in an unexpected way.
That hobby started to grow. So fast forward 3.5 years, and here he is.
3, 2, 1, cut it.
Celebrating the grand opening of his first place, Craig's Coffee.
I got my Craig's Coffee.
Craig's Coffee is a Round 20 Motor City Match Award recipient, earning an $80,000 grant for this shop. That Detroit-based program helps entrepreneurs realize their dreams of opening or sustaining small businesses.
I have this space that I want to have open to the community to utilize for their own business or entrepreneurs to utilize.
Craig's Coffee will also have regular pop-ups where the community can come in to grab a freshly brewed cup. And the team back here told me they hope to do some great things and flourish here in the Cass Corridor. I'm Damon Fernandez, Local 4.
Some good news. Thanks, Damon. So far, the Motor City Match program has awarded nearly $13 million to local small businesses. The organization is accepting applications for its 25th round of grants right now.